Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2023. And today in history, the Star Spangled Banner, written by Francis Scott Key, who was 35 years old then. Funny, this year it falls on a Thursday. We're always talking about 35 Thursday, and it will be in effect in Thursday Night Football tonight. We'll be talking about the significance of the Philadelphia Eagles, the home of the U.S. flag, playing the Vikings tonight on this day. Of course, we called why the Eagles would play the Patriots in Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota at the very start of the season, understanding that whole year was about the national anthem and the flag. So go figure they have this matchup on this day. We'll talk more about it. Also, Hunter Biden made history, the first son of a U.S. president to be federally charged 3 gun charges. And isn't it so interesting that the other top story next to Hunter Biden tonight is the JFK assassination, who was shot with a gun? So we'll draw the very clear parallel between why these two stories are in the news today. Today's 14/9, JFK born on the 149th day of the year. That's the 35th prime. Of course, he was the first Catholic, number 35. But we'll bring that together in just a moment. Another Hunter in the headlines getting the worst of it, Brandon Hunter. And we did talk about the death of Brandon Hunter in yesterday's stream, but a lot of people asked me about it today. So that means a lot of people didn't see that part of yesterday's stream. And maybe they won't see this part of today's stream either, because he's also not in. Again, there's always just too much to cover. And JFK assassination story today. Of course, yesterday, the supposed Brazilian escapee from the prison who crab walked up the wall. He was recovered by the numbers in a Philadelphia Eagles sweatshirt the day before the Philadelphia primetime in this symbolic game. We'll look a little bit more at that. Talk about a historic pattern with Philadelphia. We'll briefly touch on the Louisiana school shooting that happened on the kill date, September 12th. And then maybe you'd already caught wind of this. We talked a lot about Morocco, what happened there with the earthquake. We talked about what happened in Libya with the flooding. I just saw this, though. In Morocco, earthquake videos may be a phenomenon reported for centuries, scientists say. Okay, we'll take a look at that too. But here we are, September 14th. Today is the 209th anniversary of the Star Spangled Banner being written, which is the national, again, by 35-year-old Francis Scott Key. The season that the Eagles won their first Super Bowl, their one and only, Patriots. And we were able to call that Super Bowl early in the season after. So let's just go back down memory lane, and then we'll bring it to the present with this. The Eagles hosting in Philly versus the Vikings, which is the team that hosted the Super Bowl they won. 2017-2018 season where the Eagles beat Trump was the president then. And remember, Trump has the same birthday as the flag, June 14th, 6-1. First, the Eagles have 614 regular season wins as a franchise coming into tonight's game. 614. Trump became president of the United States when the flag was 239 years old. The flag was sewn in Philly at 239 Arch Street. The first player to protest the national anthem was Colin Kaepernick on the 239th day of the year. And then later in that season on 23/9, shortly after an article was written about Donald Trump weighing 239 pounds, go back and look it up. But on 23/9, Trump decided to take on the protesters and said they should all be fired. And we said, oh, there it is right there. 239, 52nd prime, year of Super Bowl 52, flag sewn in Philly. We already knew Brady was going to the Super Bowl since Super Bowl 50 and 51 ended, and that's because he had 93 offensive plays in the game, and that's a huge number in Minneapolis where the Super Bowl is going to be. But we were just looking for the NFC team. So we already knew it was the Patriots since before, for months. And then we said, this is it. It's Patriots, Eagles. And like we also said about that Super Bowl, we said if the Eagles are to win that Super Bowl, Zach Ertz, number 86, will score the winning touchdown for the Eagles 86 days after his birthday because the national anthem was adopted 86 years before the season. And that's exactly what happened. The Eagles did win, and Zach Ertz did score the winning touchdown. And now here we are. It's a 35 Thursday, and Philly's hosting this symbolic game on this symbolic date and hosting the team where they won the Super Bowl. And if I didn't mention Minnesota equals 52 and 239 is the 52nd prime, I don't know if there's a deeper connection with Vikings. Maybe they're trying to say something about the people who came over and colonized America. But anyway, you just got to say, what are the odds? What are the odds that this would be the game on this day? And it just goes to show, like I'm always saying, if you know history, if you can see how the NFL is rigged and is constantly paying tribute to history. It's undeniable. This is going on all the time in all of pro sports. It's not just the NFL. And how is it possible? It's because the same Jesuits who are scripting your history books, his story, are the same ones that are in control of your sports leagues. They're the same ones in control of your nightly news and a lot of your entertainment venues. So, I mean, they truly couldn't have scripted it any better. Now, with regards to Hunter Biden being up here on gun charges, as CNN so focused this afternoon on that and the JFK assassination. Remember, JFK killed at age 46. Joe Biden, number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. The word Catholic equals 35 forwards, 46 in reverse. JFK, number 35, killed at age 46. Biden, number 46, inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. Today is 14/9, like 149, the 35th prime, going with Francis Scott Key being 35 years old on this day. And for all you guys who aren't on the Patreon supporting the work, again, you can find the 35 Thursday ritual that's out there. There's somebody who can pick up a big 35 tonight on TNF. But anyway, every week, last week, the Lions got their first win in Kansas City in 35 years. Jared Goff with the 35 pass attempts. Dan Campbell's 35th game with the Lions. I mean, just same stuff week after week. But look at this. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. Let me scroll down here. From Hunter Biden. Oh, by the way, Hunter Biden's birthday is the 35th day of the year. That Super Bowl 52 that the Eagles won was on the 35th day of the year. But look at this. From Hunter Biden, or from today to Hunter Biden's upcoming birthday, the year of the election, 144 days. And again, JFK killed 144 days from meeting with the Pope. RFK dead at 1:44 in the morning. Lincoln shot on 14/4. RFK Jr. officially in this election 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. Remember on the day leaving 144 days left in the year, the Fed supposedly arrested a man who wanted to assassinate Joe Biden. That was August 9th. And we talked about 144 and the Jesuits and how the upcoming election will be 144 days after Trump's birthday. And he posed with the first Jesuit Pope at the Vatican on the 144th day of the year, and how in the last election, Jesuit Georgetown simulated that Biden would win June 12th, 2020, 144 days before the election. Here we are again. And keep in mind, in Gematria, President Biden equals 144, so does Jesuit order. Let me pull up the calculator real quick, because I want to make the point about how this is synced up with his 54th birthday, which will happen next year, the year of the election. Remember where JFK and RFK were killed. So first of all, Jesuit order, 144 with the alphabetic order, 54 with numerology. And notice how Ambassador Hotel, that's where RFK was killed, is 54. Also 153, like Jesuit order the other way. But Dealey Plaza, where JFK was killed, 54. So both Kennedys killed in 54 places, both killed in 144 rituals. Huge Jesuit numbers. And now we're talking about the son of Jesuit President Biden. President Biden's 144 as well. So you have that. And even in the thing, they mentioned how he survived the car crash that killed his mother and sister back in 72. And then when Joe Biden was 72 years old, he lost Beau Biden at age 46 in a very obvious Jesuit ritual. And his wife recently turned 72 and she caught the COVID. Notice that's one of the Jesuit order numbers as well. President Biden, 72. Jesuit order, also 72. If you're new here, Gematria is the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. It's really elementary. So just think about that. Just think about how CNN has this up on this day, right? And they're talking about JFK, who was born on the 149th day of the year, May 29th. and it's 14/9. And remember the powerful secret society that has the Catholic connections as well, Skull and Bones, which is another 149. Run it the other way, 202, like DC's the 202 area code. Run it the small way, 41, like H.W. Bush, Skull and Bones member, was number 41. Run it the small way in reverse, 76, like the other Skull and Bones Bush, who was president, born on 7/6. Remember what happened to the Georgia Guidestones on his 76th birthday? Okay, so that's really the point that needs to be made about this Hunter Biden story today. Making his story. Who's writing the history books? The Jesuits. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious. Couldn't be any more obvious. And next up, Brandon Hunter dead at 42. Again, we were just out in Seattle just telling people out loud about what they do with black men in 42 and how it's not nice. And now here we are. I mean, they're saying he died. What day were we out there? We were out there September 10th. They're saying he died September 12th. So 2 days later, this happened. This happened on the kill date for the month. Remember, there's 1 day a month that has 3 out of the 4 kill ciphers in terms of numerology. September 12th, 2023 had numerology of 64, 44, and 28. Kill equals 64, 44, 28. NBA and TMZ had to point out that this man had a career high 17. I remember a TMZ article. It was right before Kobe died. An NBA player died on the kill date for January 2020, and they had to point out that he played in 44 NBA games. But over and over, same type of stuff. So on the kill date, Brandon Hunter dies. And look at the name Brandon Hunter. We see this every month. The people who die on the kill date always have the kill numbers. Brandon Hunter equals 64. Dead on the 64 date numerology, the kill date. And again, the TMZ article, they point out he was 42. They point out that he played in 67 games. I mean, how many times have we talked about 67 and death? Blood sacrifice, 67. Human sacrifice, 67. The word satanic is 67. The word soul is 67. I remember who it was probably an NFL draft about 5-6 years ago now, and the guy who got taken number 1 overall, I'm not even sure if he's still in the league because he's had all kinds of behavioral problems. But I remember right before they went to commercial break, they had him on the screen after he got taken number 1, and what he says before they go to a break, he goes, "I sold my soul for this." I was like, oh, how nice. Is that what he was supposed to say? I sold my soul for this. I thought you were the number 1 pick because you were the top talent, not that because you sold your soul for this. Anyway. This is what's going on in the world of entertainment. Bob Dylan spoke all about it with Ed Bradley on 60 Minutes a long time ago, about how you want to make it big in show business, you better sell your soul. But notice, he played in 67 games, and he had a career high of 17 points. Perfect. He was the 56th pick of the draft, the Black Lives Matter code. He wore the number 30. Well, he wore the number 56 with Boston, and then he wore the number 34 with Orlando. And again, look at the overlap with Murder in Orlando. Murder, Orlando. Look at the three of the 4 ciphers, 79, 34, 38. And again, he wore 34 with the Orlando Magic. So, RIP to Brandon Hunter. And there's probably even more to this ritual, honestly. But those are all the hallmark numbers that we talk about so often. So with regards to this story about the 88-year-old Secret Service guy who has a book coming out about the JFK assassination, who was there that day, the thing about him being 88, remember, Trump equals 88. Trump has all the 88 rituals. Like last year, Mar-a-Lago got rated on 88. And if you write out the Republican Party, it equals 88, just like the name Trump is 88, big way, small way. The thing about the Republican Party is it was made by Lincoln. And for people who don't know this, the day that Lincoln was assassinated is the exact same day that Lincoln signed the Secret Service into being. And that was April 14th, 14/4, like 144. And again, I mean, these stories in the news together, JFK assassination, 88-year-old, Hunter Biden. Hunter. JFK was killed in the time of Sagittarius, which also equals 144 for the record. That's the archer who's the hunter. And in case you didn't know, archer is another 35 word. It's also 109, like shooting. It's actually 109 and 37 in the same ciphers as shooting. 109, 37, same ciphers. But again, 88 years old. The Republican Party goes back to Lincoln. Lincoln made the Republican Party. Lincoln made the Secret Service the day he was shot. He was a 88-year-old Secret Service agent. And yeah, I essentially made all the other points that need to be made a moment ago. They bring up how it was 60 years ago now. Again, the upcoming election's the 60th U.S. presidential election. JFK was elected in 1960. Lincoln was elected in 1860. 60, 60. A lot of 60. And we've been documenting all the 60s. And it's funny, you know, I mean, 60's been ritualistic in other deaths as well, besides just elections. So I call it the order number. I don't know if I'm missing something to 60, but it's definitely a time number. It's definitely an order number. 60 minutes in the hour, 60 seconds in the minute. The word second itself equals 60. 60 minutes. Hit TV show every Sunday. But yeah, just again, the way everything's scripted, the predictive programming, the storylines, the subliminal programming. Here, sports and news. I mean, come on. The manhunt ends after 14 days. How many times have I talked about things ending with 14, first of all? End equals 14. He has an NFL sweatshirt on. Last year or last week, first game of the season on TNF, first touchdown of the season, number 14. And that was in KC. And just like I told you guys last week, KC in 14 plays hard. Yesterday, the Royals dominated their baseball game in a big 14 ritual. Last week's game was in KC, but I'm just making the point about 14. So he's wearing the Eagles sweatshirt after the 14-day manhunt, and it's front and center in the news as well today. And now the Eagles are hosting on primetime. And the day that he was arrested was a date with 65 numerology. I mean, how many times have I taught about Philadelphia in 65? It's the city established October 27th, the day leaving 65 days left in the year. And here, just to go to this story right here. Remember this one from last year? Philadelphia police reveal identity of child found dead inside a box 65 years ago. And then they post it right at 2:23. Philadelphia's got the 65, 223. All kinds of Philadelphia 223 rituals in 2023, a year that's not far off. Remember, the Synagogue of Satan also equals 223. Christianity equals 65. The Church of Philadelphia gets the letter about the Synagogue of Satan. And again, Philadelphia is a really good example to wake people up to gematria, because you see the Philadelphia 10161. Look at church, 61101. Look at Christian, 61101. In Christianity, 65 like Philadelphia, the Synagogue of Satan. I mean, got to be a special kind of coincidence there to think all that lines up by accident. When we're showing how language, calendar, it all goes back to the church. It's all religious. It's why it's all synced up. But yeah, the kid's name even equals football. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, they were 13-3 in the regular season. But 133 is his name, gematria, football 133. And you know what else, man? His name is 52, isn't it? Just like how the Eagles won Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota, which equals 52. And now the very next day, the Eagles are hosting Minnesota. I mean, come on. This guy didn't crab walk out of anything. And I don't know if they pick up some of these immigrants and they put them in a special program where they get to be news psychological operations, and they get like Fox News just loves whatever this little psyop thing is with all the immigrants, because they always have all these bullshit stories. This immigrant just murdered 5. I mean, you turn on Fox News every day, they got some immigrant across the border who just murdered a whole bunch of people. And I'm pretty sure that every single day, these stories are all a fiction. I mean, there's probably some stories of immigrants coming over here and murdering people. But if you watch Fox News, the programming is that's what immigrants do. They come over here to murder people. In reality, they just come over here to find work and a better life. And Fox News is full of shit, just like the rest of the news networks that all pump nothing but propaganda by the numbers 24/7, 365. So go figure that that's the story right as the Eagles are having a big primetime game. And again, we've talked about, you got, like when headlines came out like this last year, we're like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, we've been calling Philadelphia the 65 city for a decade. So also on the kill date, you had the school shooting, and it was September 12th, and 129, and 129 is 201 in base 8 counting, and again 201's huge with gun control history and mass shooting history, from Sandy Hook to what happened last year in Texas on the 144th day of the year, Uvalde. But on the kill date, right? And remember the kill numbers. The specific ones here to see: 64 and 44, like the date numerology. Of course, shooting is 44. School shooting is 64. You see? So how perfect is that? News by the numbers. And then this right here: strange light spotted in Morocco earthquake. Videos may be a phenomenon reported for centuries, scientists say. Again, it begs the question: what is really going on with these reports that are anything but? Is this the military technology being shown off? Is this the Wicked Witch of the West on payroll doing her thing? I mean, when the ground quakes. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. You can look more into this story, but if you missed the work on Morocco, also go back and check that out. Morocco and Libya, the latest weather warfare casualties, or maybe weather warfare is not the exact right term for an earthquake, but just anything but Mother Nature disasters that are reported as natural disasters. Again, look into the 50 or so years of major weapons testing, detonating big bombs high up in the sky and below ground for the sake of, seeing what the capabilities are. Weather warfare, a very real thing. So I think we'll keep this one short and sweet. At 35 on Thursday, you can, or you can sign up for the Patreon and support the work and help us travel more and do more big things. Again, this year we didn't do the cross-country trip for 9/11 because last year I drove all over the country. I made 3 big trips across the nation, and support got cut in half after doing that. And it's a damn shame, because we really should be out driving circles around the nation, doing exactly what we just did the other day in Seattle all the time, getting the word out and planting seeds. But yeah, you want to support the work, you want to make some change yourself, come join the community. And again, here's a veteran member of the community. He's been supporting the Patreon since I launched it in 2018. He's been doing a lot of these right here. This is what we teach how to do, you guys. Not spend a lot of money, not become gambling addicts, but really change your life. And this is a gentleman who's changed his life, and so have a lot of people. And notice he put $60 down opening Sunday weekend and made himself nearly $1,500. The payout was $1,447.20. And he went with 3 of my picks there and used his own mind in the Browns game. I was torn on the Browns-Bengals game. I thought that one was kind of iffy, but I love the Bucks. I love the Saints. I thought Tua had a good riddle. The one game I'm shocked that he didn't put on there, that he would have been mega rich had he put the one game on there that I really liked a lot. I love the Rams upsetting Seattle, getting those Seattle numbers. Seattle, Washington, 94 and 68. Matt Stafford got the 94th win. Sean McVay, the coach, got the 68th win. Upset in Seattle. But hey, again, this is what we teach how to do. And realize, had he bet $5, he would have made over 100. And that's what I always encourage people to do. I said, if you're new here, spend $5 a week and see how many nice little parlays you can hit. That's a 4-teamer parlay that did his money nearly times 25. So if you listen to my trolls, I got that guy that likes to smoke poles and get plugged in his rear end, and he's always putting up these videos that says, I'm a liar. Just realize that guy's the liar. He's the one that's lying every week. He's taking 3-hour live streams and clipping out sections to try and mutilate the truth. Here's the real truth. This is what people do in my community. So, Gematria, it pays the bills. All right, True Seeker, we'll leave it there for now. Link for the Patreon is always in the description of the video. And until next time.